Good Monday morning. I am Genevieve Jones-Wright, founder and lead empower mentor of Motivation.In.Action, or MIA. And today is, of course, a motivational Monday. Today we are closing out our last conversation around National Recovery Month, and I have the perfect guest for this conversation, my dear friend and sister, Terri Hagmann-Garcia. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Jen, for having me. I'm honored. This is definitely something that's created some nerves inside of me, but I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Well, I'm grateful to have you here to allow for me to share your story with the world because it is a powerful story that I know is going to help a lot of people.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So let's start the conversation with, who are you? Who is Terri?
Uh, so, when I think of myself as, who I am, the first things that come to mind are a strong, independent, empowered woman. I am a teacher, an empower mentor, and I truly believe that in my heart that I'm a motivator. And so in every aspect of everything that I do, I really have the heart of leadership to help individuals really just find a way, or at least to start to believe in themselves. I work in the field of behavioral health since '99, and I've had an incredible journey. And currently, I am the manager of substance use disorder services with San Ysidro Health, so I'm super excited about that. I have an amazing husband, so I'm a wife. And I have, between us, we have 8 adult children, and we have 24 and a half grandchildren. So they totally brighten my world, our world. And just recently, yeah, I got to stop right there.
Because there's so much to you. You can say so much more. And you mentioned that you're a teacher.
hmm
I will also say that you really do lead with a servant's heart. And I've seen you in action. Mia, Motivation in Action. My company, we had a conference, if you recall, right at the height of the pandemic. And you were right there helping to facilitate sessions. You're really my right hand person. You did that, girl.
Thank you.
And so I've seen you in all of these different spaces where you really help people. September is, of course, National Recovery Month. And before we get into your story, I want to just ask you how you use your story to help people.
So in the work that I do, Jen, it's I'm really mindful of self-disclosure. So there are different arenas that I will choose to share parts of me and my experiences in life. And so in my clinical work, there's very little self-disclosure because I always want it to be about the person and not about me and perhaps my accomplishments or how I've done something. I've been asked to speak at a few different graduations, and there I go a little deeper. But I'm also very mindful of those that are sitting in the audience because I never want to take away from how they got there, like from their amazing accomplishments. But it's a little deeper, like, I got you. I know, I don't have to know your whole story to understand how you got here. And I think for me, that's important. And, you know, it depends on the arena. There are other times where I've given my testimony and that's gone deep. And so I think I use my story or my experiences in life as they fit in the situation and with whoever I'm speaking to or speaking with. And so that's how I use it. And really, my goal is to empower individuals to not say that I've done it, so can you, but that it can be done. And so when people understand that change and transformation can happen and they find their value and worth, then it empowers them to start to move forward. And if they're so focused on me and, oh my gosh, Terry did this or Terry did that, then it's about me and not how they can arrive at their destination.
So, that being said, September, National Recovery Month, is that personal for you?
So, National Recovery Month is personal because I have worked in the field for so long and I've seen such an incredible amount of change and growth. And I feel that it's a month for individual. I think every day is a celebration for recovery, actually. I'm super excited that they've chosen a month to say, hey, it is important to understand recovery does happen. And so when I think about it, it's about heightening awareness that recovery is real. And it, for me, not just the month, but just understanding that with every ailment, there is a recovery process. And so it's about growth and transformation and change. And when you think of somebody who's healing from other ailments in life, there's healing, there's transformation, and then there's growth, and there's change. We change the way that we do things so that we can continue our healing process. And so for me, that's what Recovery Month or recovery in general means.
I like that. Recovery is real. And through your story, we know recovery is possible.
Yes.
So, you mentioned your testimony. What is your testimony?
A once upon a time testimony. Yeah, it's hard sometimes to just like talk about certain things. When I think about where I've been, there have been tragedies in my life. There has been abuse and trauma and neglect from childhood. And so, I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And it was very sad because the experiences that I've had, the things that have happened to me, some things I allowed to happen, really made it easy to make the decision to start using. And I remember when I was about 15 or so, people would try to offer drugs, and I would make up these hairy, audacious stories about how I had seen people die, and didn't want to do it. And really, that was me putting up a barrier so that they wouldn't offer anymore. And then, and already had experienced a bunch of stuff in my life. And then as I grew older, I was a very young mother and landed in a very abusive relationship. Still managed. I didn't do anything during that time. And then I found myself in another very dangerous relationship. And at that point, somehow I found, or they found, the drugs found me, but I made it really easy to say yes. And what they did for me was give me a false sense of confidence, strength, power, that nobody would ever hurt me again. And in the center of all of that, Jen, it really felt that that was the truth. It really felt that this is what this drug was doing for me. It also gave me a false sense of safety. And, I did that for a very, very long time. I had landed in a place behind many different walls that had no exit, at least for not an extended period of time. And so I remember standing there one day and just looking around and looking at all the women and thinking, how did I get here? And it's only obvious how I got there. It really is. But really not, because I had big dreams when I was a child. I had big dreams, and little by little, they were just kind of snatched from me, or that doesn't happen for girls like you kind of messages. And it really just impacts a person, and they start to develop their sense of worth. And my sense of worth based on experiences that I had already had and language that was used, such as that, I really didn't feel worthy of anything. Hence, landing in these types of relationships and now choosing, excuse me, to do what I did. So I had an incredible journey while I was in there, when I was in prison, and you don't cry there, and so I used to wad up my paper and go to my my bunk, and I would lay there and I would cry silently, and I just asked God to take me back to the very first memory that He wants me to remember, and then walk me all the way through. It was the most painful, excruciating, internal, just, you know, it just tore me apart inside. The things that I had done, the things that I didn't do, the hurt that I caused, and all of the hurt that was bestowed upon me. And so I just worked that out. It took about a year, just me and God at night, and tears, and a lot of inner soul searching. And it helped me to learn how to forgive, although that wasn't easy, myself and others, and also really just to be accountable, and just know that, okay, we went through that all again, emotionally and spiritually, and so now I have a starting point, and now this is my starting line. And so I utilized the system for every possible thing that I could, so that I never had to go back to that place again. And that's what I did. I wasn't a mother to my children. You know, I think that when I think back, I was surviving. I was trying to save my life. I was trying to work and take care of the family. I was trying to be good all the time because you never knew what was going to happen. It was a survival, and that helped me, or so I thought, to survive. And, so now when I am talking to someone or I'm working with someone, when we get into deep conversations, I ask them, I'll just say something like, wow, that's an incredible experience that you've had. And it sounds like you've been surviving for a very long time. What do you think it would feel like if you started to live? And so, or I'll ask them, when you get tired of just surviving and you open yourself up to living, you're going to find an incredible journey. And so that's what I did. I was tired of surviving, and now I live.
And that's so powerful. And we talk about that a lot at Motivation in Action because there are a lot of people right now who are just simply surviving. They're just going about their days, going through the motions. And it doesn't even have to be that they're kind of, suffering from addiction. That doesn't have to be their story. But a lot of us are not living. We're not thriving. We're just simply surviving, going day to day, just trying to make it to the next day. And that's no way to live.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes, so you're using your story to help people get to where they live.
That's my goal, yes, is really to be that person. I'm an unapologetic optimist. So, I'm not going to ever apologize for my optimism. And I believe that everybody is worthy of living and not having to fight so hard to survive.
Yeah, because that's not how God intended for it to be at all.
No.
So, listening to you tell your story, in speaking with Roxy Walnum, who you know very well, who opened up our September conversations, and then also Elizabeth Nichols, there's this common feature that's a part of this journey to recovery that I'm hearing from you all, and it is the spiritual experience. So, when you had asked for God to reveal the first memory He wanted you to recall, did you already know God? Did you already believe in God? What was the fellowship like with God, if there was any fellowship with God before that point?
So that's such a great question. Yes, I did. I was searching always for something. And I remember walking to church by myself when I was very little. And I got my perfect attendance Bible. And I remember my first experience of sitting down, just sitting there, and they were showing this big book of stories. And it was the one where, Jesus is there with the white robe and the kids are looking up. And I just had an overwhelming sense of that's what I wanted. I had no understanding of what it meant. That it was so peaceful. And so I developed my own connection with God and my own relationship. And and then I got angry because I always thought if God loved me like he loved the children, why would he allow all of this to happen to me? And then why would he allow all of the things that I did to hurt others, my children and things? So I went through a lot of that. I was angry and upset, but he never let me go, actually. I tried, but he never let me go. And I finally came to a realization that it's not him, that evil is out there. And so, and that's the goal, right? Is to pull the more that there is pain, the more disruption there is with the relationship. And so when I found myself in that place, of course, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to God. And I am going to ask him why, how, and but I knew that he had the healing power, and so I think that's the biggest part of my testimony is, if it wasn't for, I'm a firm believer that God is here in the center, and he's really good at either taking you and plucking you and dropping you somewhere else, or starting to pluck out all of the things around you. And when I landed in prison, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I truly believe that was God plucking me out of that lifestyle. And so I knew him. I was angry with him. I loved him. And I still believed. And that's where I went.
So maybe you've already answered this, but what has been your key to success on this journey?
Well, first of all, God, my Lord and Savior, has definitely been a big part of my success, because I have a closer relationship now, understandable relationship now than I ever have. My overwhelming determination, and really, I think turning my fear into a positive driving force. I do not want to go back to that lifestyle. It was the most painful, lonely, trying to make it exciting kind of lifestyle, and it was dark. And so, fear of going back. So I turned that around and made it a good driving force, and it really pushed me through. Afraid of letting people down, those types of things, afraid of failure, and having to live with that. So that's definitely part of my success. My family. I raised my oldest grandson since he was 3 months old, and was only a year out, and so here I am raising this little person, trying to go to school and trying to work full time, and so God will never give more than you can handle, but I think that was a lot. And now I have an incredible family. It was 8 of us, and now I belong to or I'm a part of an incredible family of over 150 people, Garcias. And when I married my husband, I married my my family, and it's an incredible experience to have a family that really loves you and supports you. So if I have to leave a family event early to study, they're like, "We got you. You got this." When my husband and my grandsons, who are living with us right now, have to eat cereal or make a sandwich for dinner because I have to study, I know they've got me, you know? And then the incredible people in my life that I've surrounded myself with, and really always asked myself, does this person have the qualities that you would want in yourself? And when I can answer yes, that's who I want in my life. You are one of those amazing people. And so when I think about that, that the success, first of all, um, I don't know that I say success, I say growth, accomplishments, because I'm not done yet.
Absolutely.
hmm
So, how many years of sobriety are we celebrating today?
Yeah. So my journey started 26 years ago. Um, I'm excited about that. And, I feel that there's many different pathways for everyone. No two people will ever experience the exact same journey. And that's what's so incredible about that process. And once somebody finds their pathway, even if they get off on the wrong exit and then they figure out how to get back on, it really doesn't matter as long as you get back on. And I am so grateful that once I started my journey, I never looked back. And yeah, I'm so blessed and I'm so grateful that I never had to do any of that over again.
You've never looked back. You've kept growing. You've kept healing. You kept accomplishing things. So, what are some of the titles you've earned since being on this pathway? Because I want to celebrate that too.
Um, well, I always start personally, right? Um, I've earned, I've earned uh, my title of grandma. I have worked very hard to just be the best grandma ever. I've earned now the title of being a mother, not for all of my children, but for two of them. I have three. And I have earned, like I said, teacher, power mentor. Yeah, I just,
You've got some degrees under your belt.
thank you for asking about that. Yes, because I totally forgot and I really wanted to talk about that. So, yeah, right now I have a bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies that focuses on addiction, psychology, and early childhood development. It was so intriguing just to learn how, kids develop and the impact of situations in life. I'm a certified addiction counselor, level 3. If anybody knows about that, it's pretty important. And I'm a certified substance use disorder counselor, 3, with a clinical supervision designation. And I'm currently working on my master's for executive leadership. And I also, did I talk about my business?
No.
Okay, well, let me just add it there. I was trying to see where I would fit that in. And so my business, it's Empowered Through Choice Training Services, and it's been around for years. I just haven't really done anything with it. So now I'm trying to focus on that. I am working on my website, so it'd be published soon. And it really is about taking all of the experiences, not just from my life, but all that I've pulled from everybody. I have learned so much along the way from the individuals that I've worked with, the actual participants that I've worked with. So incredible. And also the people that I've, wrapped myself around with their incredible knowledge and experience. So I developed a bunch of trainings over the years that focuses on personal and professional growth. I do trainings for large organizations. I've done trainings for the county. I currently train for RISE, who is part of the San Diego State Training Academy. And so that's an honor. I was able to speak at a state conference. That was amazing, right? Yeah, I feel like I don't know if I've earned titles, but I've really earned a lot or gained a lot of experience. And it's always an honor when somebody asks me to be a part of offering information, because to tell you, I think I'm going to offer information, but when I walk out with more information than I walked in with because of who is in the audience.
Yes. And this is why I just wanted to share your story, because what people don't necessarily see is that when someone is in the throes of addiction, they can't mother at a level of excellence. They can't be the grandmother that they would normally be without the fight. And so I really, it hits me here because I know what a wonderful mother you are. I know what an exceptional grandmother you are. So to hear you say, I've earned those titles, and indeed you have, because when you were suffering through your addiction, there's your children weren't gonna regard you as dear mother. Right. And that's a cost that comes with addiction. And it's something that is a reality that we have to talk about. Like, you lose a lot in addiction, but you've gained more. God has blessed you more than tenfold. So this is why your story is just so powerful and inspiring, because people who right now may be down on themselves can look at you and say, I too can earn that trust back, that love back, that relationship back with people that I hurt when I was struggling in addiction. So thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And now for the $1 billion question. What advice would you leave with the audience today if they are suffering from addiction or just needing some inspiration? However you want to take it, what advice would you leave with the audience today?
I think the biggest message that I would like to share is that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you're the only one that can find it. And so oftentimes when there are situations in life, you may get frustrated and you may turn away from that light, and there will be people that will try to block the light. They will try to steal it from you, but don't allow that to happen and keep moving towards the light. You will find it. This process, this journey of healing and transformation, it can happen for you. It can happen if you desire to make change. And it may not happen right away or as fast as you want it, and it may be a slow process, but nevertheless, you just keep trying, just keep finding your way. And I'm not saying that in these 26 years that I have been totally perfect. I have made some mistakes, relationship mistakes, and financial. Nobody ever taught me financial wellness, and I've learned along the way. So just because you are trying to make change and trying to shift your life in a way that will be positive and you can grow and transform, it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be some hiccups and pain along the way. That was my misconception. I thought, I'm on this journey, people aren't supposed to hurt me, or I'm not supposed to do this and make these mistakes. And that's not true. Be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to just live and know that there may be mistakes along the way, but there is an opportunity for transformation. And don't give up. Don't give up. Don't let anyone steal your thunder, and don't give up.
Yes. So you heard it here from Terri Hagmann-Garcia. Don't give up. Don't give up. Find the light. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And even if you make mistakes, keep going towards the light. And sometimes it may be someone else who's trying to block you from getting to that light, but get to the light. You can do it. Transformation is there at your fingertips. Oh man, thank you for sharing so many parts of your story with us this week, this morning. I know it is going to inspire and help someone. I think someone's going to pick up a phone for the first time and get some help, get onto that road to recovery, healing, growth, sobriety. So congrats again on 26 years and going.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us for this week's Motivational Mondays. I'm going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here with more inspiration to help you jumpstart your week. Now, if you found this week's conversation inspirational or motivational in any way, maybe you got a gem to carry with you throughout the day or the week, please feel free to like, comment, and share. Because remember, everyone can use some motivation. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'll see you next week.